Are you trying to help your child with reading but aren't sure of what that actually looks like? In this video, I want to show you 2 examples of effective coaching from my classroom and give you an easy framework you can use every time when helping your child with reading. So my name is David, or as my students call me, Coach T. I've been a reading coach for almost 20 years now, and I'm the co-founder and head reading coach at Boss Readers. Our mission is to help parents help their kids become confident grade-level readers and successful students. All right, let's go into the reading gym and look at some of these conversations. This can be like an athlete reviewing a game film. As you watch it, what do you notice about the type of questions that I use? Okay, check this out. What did you notice about what you did well here?
What is if I want to read stuff?
Okay, so you noticed you only read out of the stuff.
I found out the answer, but I wasn't.
Okay, so is that something that worked or didn't work? All right, so what are you going to stop doing?
Stop.
Nice, and what are you going to try doing next time? Make sure you read the whole thing. That's excellent. Nice job coaching yourself. Coaching reading is different than coaching basketball, football, piano, painting, and other skills you can see. Here's how we explain this to students in the reading gym. In order to coach anything, what a coach will do is they'll first observe the player, then evaluate what's working and what's not working, and then give specific feedback to help the player make the right adjustments. Observe, evaluate, respond over and over and over. And the better a coach can observe, the better they can respond with the right feedback. But how do you observe somebody reading? Where's the reading game played? In your head. And a person who's outside your head can't see what's going on up there while you're reading, but you can. You can learn to watch and listen to the thinking in your head, and you can learn to coach yourself to win the reading game. So when you're coaching your child with reading, you want to help your child learn to observe their own thinking, reflect on what works and doesn't work, and come up with an idea to try. Now, let's look at another example, and I want you to notice that this process, it can sometimes require a few rounds of questions to get to specific strategies. So in this clip, notice how many questions I ask before we get to clarity. So you noticed the story was challenging. So what did you notice about, what was making it challenging for you?
How the fact that there was a fire, there's a lot going on.
So the story was challenging because you noticed there's a lot of things going on at once. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's something you think you can do to kind of deal with that?
Focus on one and then go to another.
Focus on one what?
Problem.
Like, what do you mean? Like problem in the story or?
Problem they had in the reading and on the story.
Say more about that. I'm not with you just yet.
Focusing more on the problem.
Like the problem in the story or the problem you're having with the story?
The problem I have with the story, but maybe if I read it, it would make more sense.
Okay. How do you know when you're having a problem with the story?
When I'm stumbling over words in my head.
Okay, so good. See how we're getting more and more clear again? Mm-hmm. So you notice that you're stumbling over words in your head. So when you notice that, what are you going to do?
I'll fix them.
Okay.
Read better, train my reading better.
Nice, that's always an answer. I'm trying hard. What I heard you saying, though, was stop. Noticing you're stumbling over words, just stop. Slow down a little bit. Okay, so that's what I want you to write down here. And even to make your noticing more specific, you noticed that you were stumbling over words in your head. And what you're going to do is stop and slow down. Writing this down is going to help you remember for next time.
Yeah.
Nice work. So when you're coaching your child, keep asking them clarifying questions to help them understand their own thinking better. The last idea I want to leave you with is this. It's more powerful for your child to come up with their own ideas of things to try rather than you telling them what to do. All right, this can be hard for us parents sometimes, I get that. But this is because when people take ownership of their learning process, they get better results. Now, helping your child become their own reading coach is just one step in the overall journey of becoming a stronger reader. So it's important for you to zoom out and see the path clearly. There are 4 distinct phases that all kids go through. They are explore, activate, accelerate, achieve. In the explore phase, the child is exploring the potential of this thing called reading. And the goal here is to help them develop the mindset of, I'm willing to try. So once they develop that mindset of, I'm willing to try, it moves into phase 2, activating their confidence. And the mindset we want to help them build here is, I want to be a reader. Once your child has that mindset of, I want to be a reader, they move into phase 3, accelerating their growth. And so the key here, because you want to help them develop this mindset of, I can be a reader. And it's really important to understand that I want to be a reader and I can be a reader, two different things. Just because we might want to do something doesn't mean we believe we can. Once your child sees progress and they have the mindset of I can be a reader, they move into the fourth phase, which is achieving some level of reading success. And it doesn't necessarily matter what level that is at. The key here is that they develop a commitment and the mindset of I will be. And moving through all four of these phases gets them to the final goal of I am a reader. This is where their identity has been solidified and reading becomes part of who they are. So the journey is I'm willing to try. I want to be a reader. I can be a reader. I will be a reader. I am a reader. And if your child is stuck in reading right now, a huge part of the process is figuring out where along this journey the stuck point has happened and then matching up with the right training plan to help them break through that.
And as a dedicated parent, you wouldn't still be watching this right now if you weren't really serious about helping your child. So
I want to give your child some free reading lessons. This is our intro training in the Boss Reading Gym, and it presents a different and more engaging way of looking at reading. Super easy to implement. Each lesson, it's only like 15 minutes or so it's easy to fit into a busy family schedule. And because they're engaging and interactive, you don't have to fight with your kid to do them. The big idea here is that everything is easier when you know the game and you have a strategy to win.
So that's our goal now, to help you figure out the right exercises and the right approach that your child needs. This works for struggling readers, reluctant readers, neurodiverse learners, because every brain can grow when it's trained the right way.